Welcome back, my name is Piku. The game is Final Fantasy XVI. Last time, well, we found the desert hare and our uncle made a royal ass of himself. So, hopefully we can still salvage the situation.
Excuse me. Is it true there's been trouble with crystals of late?
You've heard, then?
I've heard rumors.
Damn thieves. Pilfering the crystals that were meant to fill our cups and light our stoves. Us common folk have hardly had a shard to share between us these last few moons. And it isn't as if we can buy them on the black market, either. Whoever's taking them, they aren't sharing.
So a bunch of thieves are going around stealing all the crystals, but to what end? Because if they're not selling them on the black market, then they're using them for
Do
something.
you have a moment?
Depends what for.
Just a question. Dalamil seems to be thriving compared to the other villages I came through on the way. Is there a reason for that?
Well, we're a stone's throw from Drake's Fang for one. The soldiers guarding the Mother Crystal and the shipments need a place to spend their hard-earned gil. The men of the Rock throw their money about like there's no tomorrow.
Is that so? Well, thank you. Don't let me keep you from your work any longer.
Alright. Wait.
Take a sniff, good sir.
Wait. Vivian said that to heal Kupka's wounds he needs ether.
Fresh bread, warm from the oven. Here,
And what are crystals
have a
but
taste.
ether in physical form? Are the men of the Rock stealing these crystals in order to heal?
Well, I hope you gave as good as you got.
But the merchant said that these robberies have been going on for a couple of months now. So that doesn't make sense.
What can I do for you, soldier? Need that sword polishing?
I'm not a soldier.
Ugh, then be off with you. I serve the men of the Rock and the men of the Rock only.
You have an agreement with them?
Don't be stupid. I just know which side my bread is buttered. Don't want to be stuck under some pauper when they come knocking. With pockets deeper than Zemeckis and an urge to empty them. No, just leave, will you? Before you scare them off.
I think I'm starting to get an idea of what's been going on. I wonder if Uncle Byron's learned anything of use. He'll probably be back at the inn by now.
My carpets have bright...
It's you, the one who broke all our furniture. What do you want? Haven't you caused enough trouble already?
I'm looking for my pal. Have you seen him?
The gentleman who was with you? Yes, he's upstairs, but...
Thank you. I'll go and fetch him.
But what,
It
lass?
was a mess of blood-soaked splinters, thanks to you. The least you can do is let us clean up in peace.
Okay, I'm sorry. Uncle Byron. No, that door doesn't come open.
Will this suffice as a deposit?
By the sands. That's a black pearl.
One of the many treasures in my collection that I would be only too happy to part with, should you give me reason to do so.
All right. I'm sure that we can come to an agreement, but not here.
What are you doing, Uncle?
Looks like he's bribing the men of the rock for information.
Care to explain why you're giving gifts to Kupka's men?
Bait, my boy. One cannot catch one's prey without it. And I do believe I've snagged us quite the quarry. I started by asking around the markets as to where I might purchase crystals. I had no luck, of course. It's forbidden to trade in such things. But my uncharacteristic indiscretion just happened to attract the attention of those uniformed ruffians. They took me aside and said they could procure the crystal I sought if I proved I could pay for it.
So the pearl was your proof?
I thought they'd ask for more. A second-rate specimen like that would only fetch 500,000 or so. A small price to pay for admittance to the underworld. But enough about my little act of subterfuge. What did you discover?
That the supply of crystals has dried up of late. And some people seem to think they're being stolen. Meanwhile, members of Kupka's private guard have been spending money all over town. I'll wager those soldiers you've been talking to have been siphoning off crystals meant for elsewhere, and pocketing the profits.
I'll wager you're right.
We'll meet with them then, just as you arranged, and put an end to the trouble Lubor spoke of.
Ha! That preening popinjay thought this would be difficult. It just goes to show, one should never underestimate a Rosfield. We'll soon wipe that smirk off his face.
Then why did
I
that...
arranged to meet with the soldiers in a secluded corner of the Velcroy, far from prying eyes.
The perfect place for a spot of double dealing.
I trust I can count on your support, if things turn sour.
Of course.
And why did that merchant say you couldn't get any on the black market? Unless, of course, the men of the rock are trading to more discerning clientele than simply the black market.
I need to drink.
That's a possibility.
Fucking men of the wrong. Anytime they pull their snouts out of Kupka's trough is when they want to lord it over us.
Yeah.
This river runs all the way to the southern seas. They used to load the crystal onto barges and sail it to the villages downstream. Before the canyons were lost to beasts and bandits. When I was a girl, I would wave to the boatmen as they set off on their long journey, and they would throw me sweetmeats in return. Such happy times.
Well, it sounds like the situation around here is even more dire than we had thought. Now, how am I supposed to get there? Okay, where? Side, down, through the Briar's Kiss. Not this way.
Lights and buds!
Do
So,
you think they'll be back soon?
another news.
To a silken soft
I have completed, well, I've defeated the 3 Elder Dragons. Tesostra, Valhazak, and the other one that I can never remember the name of. And I think the next hunt in the story is Xenojiva. I'm excited for that. So, Valhazak and the other one, the wind one, were pretty easy, I found, but Testarostra just kicked my ass up and down the street all day. I failed the quest twice. That's how bad it was. And I think a lot of it has to do with just the hammer having such wind-up times that sometimes I would start committing to an attack, he would use his Nova, and I couldn't sheath and Superman dive in time, which caused more than a couple of feints. I learned to be more cautious when he was enraged. Eventually.
I'll take it from here.
I was
really
beginning
hope
to
this doesn't
think you
go
weren't
south.
coming, my lord. You've brought your contribution?
All the silver and stones I could scrape together at such short notice?
You brought the whole 500 talents.
That was the price we agreed upon, yes? If you've no objections, I'd like to see the crystal.
Of course. Right this way, my lord.
Not bad at all. You weren't lying about the clarity. But what of security? If I were to be stopped on the road, what guarantee have I that it wouldn't be seized as property of the Republic?
Because these crystals are no longer the property of the Republic. You're not buying from us. You're buying from them.
And we have no more jurisdiction here than you, my lord. But we have ships, and will gladly deliver to a port of your choosing, now that our price has been met.
Royalists, eh? What brings you here?
Why, to collect their share of Drake's Fang's blessing, of course. Our nations are allies, and so they are entitled to a portion of the Mother Crystal's bounty. And being such good friends, we elected to increase that portion and share the benefits. And now that these crystals are officially property of the Kingdom of Waloed, we are duty-bound not to interfere, no matter where they might happen to end up next.
Did you get all that? They're in cahoots!
So it would seem.
My lord, what is the meaning of this?
Double-crossing dogs. They're not here to do business. Kill them. Kill them both!
What a dirty scheme.
It's not over yet, Uncle!
The men of the rock get the crystal, siphon off the crystals. And then the Waloods take them and sell them off. Well, they all sell them off, but legally it ain't the rock. Chocobos. Buy chicken. At least my brain is not completely useless right now. And stuck in Monster Hunter mode, surprisingly enough. The disrespect fireball to finish the fight. The level up to level 32. 2,143 HP, 317 attack, 224 defense, 305 stagger, 80 strength, 86 fit, 80 will.
Well, that wasn't too bad. How'd you like my performance, huh? I've often played the villain on the stage. I think I did the role justice. Don't you?
Greybeard, you were magnificent. The battle scene was particularly thrilling. Such a shame you didn't have more of an audience, but perhaps that's for the best.
How long have you been watching?
Long enough to witness your uncle's sordid transaction. I hardly expected one so venerable to degrade himself so thoroughly. Buying one's way into the confidence of degenerates. Ingenious.
This was the trouble you spoke of. The men of the Rock taking crystals meant for the common folk and conspiring with the Royalists. Well, now it's over.
Indeed it is. The people of Dalamil had scarcely any means of redress against Kupka's men, let alone a foreign army. Until you two came along, that is. Well, we'd better get these crystals back to town. You won't mind waiting with them while I fetch a wagon.
Sometime later.
It occurs to me that I still don't know your name.
Clive.
So, Sid the Second is a Clive. I suppose it could have been worse. Well, Clive, you held up your end of the bargain, so I must do the same. Passage through the South Gate, was it not? To tell the truth, you've helped a little there too. Many of the guards have already been redeployed to deal with the issue of their missing comrades. And those left behind have been encouraged to look the other way should you attempt to pass through.
Thank you. And please allow me to cover your costs. You still have the purse I gave to the soldiers, I trust? I saw you pluck it from one of the bodies.
Oh, dear. Was I really so obvious?
And my name is not Greybeard. It is Lord Byron Rosfield, thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Greybeard. Here, wear this.
Seal obtained. You accept the Desert Rose.
Any friend of mine who sees you with it shall be a friend of yours.
Thank you, Lubo.
And please, feel free to send one of my Stoluses back to your people. Tell them that Rosina Dalamil is back in bed with Sid.
I will phrase it in no such manner.
I'm trusting you, Sid. Or should I say, Clive. So be sure not to let me down. I have a reputation to uphold. Well then, I wish you a safe journey south.
Thank you.
Not at all. It was my pleasure.
Come on, Uncle. Let's go.
That's another quest completed. And side quests appear.
Forged a butter knife before. Perhaps Forge Master Luber's having fun at my expense.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Neither would I. Oh, wait. Are you Clive? Sorry, my mind was elsewhere. I'm Sava, Master Luber's least accomplished apprentice. Soon to be former apprentice if I don't pass this test. Maybe I'm just not the resourceful type. People are buying up weapons faster than the Briar's Kiss can forge them, and here I am, unable to make a decent bit of kitchenware. He wants me to make a carving knife, one that embodies the spirit of Dalamil. Whatever that's supposed to mean. I don't suppose you have any idea what he's on about, do you?
I'm afraid not.
Never mind. Thought I'd ask. It was that, or pack my bags.
I could give you a hand if you like. I know how busy the Briar's Kiss has been, and that Lubor needs all the capable hands he can find.
I'd be a fool to refuse.
So, where do we start?
Good question. If I'm honest, I've never made any kind of knife before. And then there's this little riddle to keep in mind. The spirit of Dalamil. Nothing is ever simple with that man.
The way I see it, there's only one way we'll be solving Lubor's puzzle. We need information. The more the better.
You're right. There's no point fumbling in the dark, I suppose. Now, who to speak to first? Well, there's plenty of folk in Dalamil who use knives for a living. There's the butcher, of course, and any number of cooks. They're bound to have an opinion or two about the tools of their trade. All right. I think we have a plan. Let's get to it, shall we? I'll talk to every cook I can find. You speak to the butcher, and anyone else you can think of.
All right. Good luck.
Let's hope that someone says something useful.
Running out of niche, huh?
Trust Lubor to take a simple test and turn it into a riddle. I better get to it.
Is it true what I'm hearing?
The finest fabric!
It would make a fine.
Fresh bread, warm from the oven.
Made from the stoutest stoneware.
Everything I've worked for. All those years of toil. Every coin I've ever earned is tied up in this place.
Are you all right?
The baths are closed. Leave me be. On second thought, perhaps you are just what I need. Might your services be for hire?
That depends on the job.
I'd have you save my business, the baths. The water's turned scalding hot and all the crystals in Dalamil wouldn't be enough to cool it. I've no doubt that my woes stem from the water's source. But I can't go and investigate for fear of my customers thinking I've abandoned the place. I'm bound to these baths in more ways than one. I beg of you, go to Dusnoff Terraces. Tell me what you find there.
All right. I'll go and take a look.
Wonderful. It's not far. Leave the market by the south gate. The smell of sulfur will guide you the rest of the way. These baths are all that keep me from an ignoble end in a debtor's prison. My livelihood, my very life, is at stake.
Sounds like a bunch of fire monsters are taking up residence at the mouth of your water of your spring. Excuse me, coming through.
Wait inside.
Ah, they've opened the gate.
Lubor was true to his word.
Where's the... Where's the butcher? Am I blind? Is everybody... Yeah, I'm blind.
Silken softening.
Welcome, sir. What can I do you for?
A question, if you don't mind. I need to know what makes a good carving knife.
You a blacksmith or something?
Something, I suppose.
Fair enough. Knives, is it? First and foremost, it's got to hold an edge. Most knives will make it through fat, no problem, but sinew dulls cheap steel in no time. Give me a blade which can slice through anything that crosses my chopping block, and I'm a happy woman.
So a knife that stays sharp. Makes sense.
Yep. Fairly obvious, but sometimes you gotta be told the obvious. I know it's sometimes. Where's the other quest marker? It's probably upstairs.
Silver platters, hanging lanterns, keep the darkness from your door.
Oh, I see bombs in the distance. That must be the bathhouse.
Fucking men of the wrong.
I need to drink. You're going to drink
Is it true what I'm hearing?
Take a
It looks like it's a straight shot from here, but
made from the stoutest stoneware. Sweet incense, wax candle.
oh, there you are.
We can make our way back to the fight now, at least.
What is it? I'm in no mood for chatter.
Sorry. Do you mind if I ask your trade?
Hunter, why?
I have a question. Can you tell me what makes a good carving knife? I assume you use one out in the field.
Has to be able to put up with some punishment. Don't be dealing with a brittle blade, not while I'm on the hunt. If your knife snaps every time you use it, you'll be spending coin as fast as you make it. Times are hard enough as it is.
Thank you. I won't keep you any longer.
All business, eh? Man after my own heart.
So, a carving knife should be hard-wearing and hold an edge. Hardly a revelation. Let's hope Sava had better luck than I did.
Yeah.
Plates and pots.
Not exactly one of the greatest mysteries of the universe, what goes into making a good knife.
Fresh bread, warm from the oven.
My carpets have pride of place.
So, how'd it go? You learn anything useful, or should I be looking for a new trade?
Only that a blade should be durable and stay sharp. But I don't see how that relates to the spirit of Dalamil.
I didn't have much luck either. All the cook said was that he needs his knives to be light. Too heavy and they do his shoulder in.
So we're no better off than when we started. Perhaps Lubor didn't mean anything with his Dalamil remark. But that can't be right. I've bandied enough words with the man to know that he chooses them carefully. No. We must be missing something. Something right in front of our noses, most likely.
No doubt you're right, but I have to make a start soon. I can't put off making this knife forever.
Agreed. Lubor wouldn't like that much.
Right. I've been trained to work iron. The cheap stuff, mind. But it's hardy enough if you don't hammer it too thin, and it sharpens up nicely with a bit of effort. Trouble is, it's either durable or it's light. Meaning someone is going to be disappointed. Forge Master Lubor, probably.
Is there no one else you can turn to? Someone who knows their metals, perhaps?
The other apprentices know better than to help me with my test. But maybe there is someone I could turn to. A merchant, a favourite of Forge Master Lubor's, who sells metals to tradesmen passing through the Valcroy. I bet she'd know a thing or two.
Well, if you need light and strong, sounds like you're looking for an alloy of some sort.
Let's go.
Of course, there could be some mystery fantasy metal, like mithril, like adamantite.
Time to fight.
How do I get over there? Oh. I went tearing off in the wrong direction.
Well, this is no good. I was hoping to get out of the heat for a little while.
Yeah.
Lord Cook has... Any luck? Or will you be needing help with your bags?
Well, I asked her, but... Oh, you tell me.
If you're looking to make a knife that will impress a master like Lubor, there are options. They're just not that viable. Featherlight adamantite knives will get passed from generation to generation, never needing so much as a lick of the whetstone. But adamantite ore is unique to ash, so it doesn't come cheap.
And it's beyond my skill to handle.
Unique to ash. Are there any materials unique to Dalamil? Something which could be mixed with iron to refine it. Make it lighter.
What are you getting at?
You said that Lubor trained you to work iron. Then that's what he'll expect you to use. But he would have known that it would either be too heavy or too brittle for a carving knife. Perhaps his Dalamil remark wasn't a riddle, but a hint.
If it's cheap metal you're using, then there's always limestone, I suppose. Folk first settled Dalamil to get at her mineral deposits. And, if you know the trick, it can be melted down in the furnace to drive out impurities from low-quality iron.
Bloody hell! That must be it! I don't suppose you know the trick, do you?
It's hardly my speciality, but I've been around enough blacksmiths to know how it works.
Looks like I've got some learning to do. Clive, I hate to ask after all that you've done for me, but...
Limestone? Fine. I can hardly abandon you now. Besides, I want to know if this is the answer to Lubor's little riddle.
I can't thank you enough, Clive. You'll have no trouble finding limestone over in the terraces. The place is bloody made of it.
Then I suppose I'll meet you back at the forge.
Right you are. I'll see you shortly.
Limestone, huh?
So, do you crush it up, or just throw it in the furnace?
I was not expecting that. Limestone. Huh. I wonder if that's actually something you can do in real life.
Well, this is no good.
Is it true what I'm hearing?
My carpets.
Take a sniff, good sir.
Huh.
Fresh bread, warm from the oven.
And this takes me right out next to the,
Out his stone.
this little quest too. So I can pick up the limestone, take out those bombs, and then return. hand in both quests and end the episode.
We should get going soon.
What are we doing for time? A little over the 35-minute mark, yeah.
Ah, I'm not too late.
What is it, Lubor?
A question that I neglected to ask earlier. Where is it that you're bound?
To Drake's Fang. To finish Hugo Kupka.
Just as I thought. Then allow me to share a secret. Drake's Fang is currently riddled with royalists. Talmeki and Waloed are allies, and as you've seen, their soldiers work hand in glove. But no nation has ever before allowed a foreign army to make a barracks of its holiest of holies.
Not by choice, at least.
And there's more. My man on the inside of the Fang has failed to report for several days. I fear there may be more trouble lying in wait for you on the road ahead.
Isn't there always?
If you're determined to beard the lion's den, then promise me one thing. That you will enter via the mines, where the guard is lightest. I've lost one Cid already. If I lose another, people will start to think me careless.
I don't plan on dying. Not before Kupka does, anyway.
Well, so long as you have a plan.
I don't look for trouble, but trouble sure looks for me. Come along, Ambrosio. Let's go get our limestone.
Drake's Fang should be just beyond these springs. Shall we press on?
Oh, the limestone is right here.
One rock looks a lot like another. But hopefully this is what Southern needs.
Looks like I've got to go all the way around to get to those bombs. Oh well.
Come on, girl. The gate's open now. We can press on. Don't tell me you put down root. Ready, go? Faster!
What the hell are those things?
They are bombs. They are fiery and they like to go boom.
By the flames. That explains the heat.
Yes, sir. Oh, there. Quite resistant to Phoenix. Ow.
Let's try.
I remember to press R1 just at the last second.
The frying pan.
Ow. Perish. Ow. Whole face, uh-huh. Alright. I might be a little over-reliant on
Let's cool things down a bit.
Phoenix for crowd control. Hmm.
Well, this is no good. I was hoping to
I wasn't sure how much you'd need, but I hope this is enough.
A riddle white stone that grows on the restorative hot springs near Dalamel. When dyed and milled into a fine powder, it can be added to molten iron to purge the metal of impurities.
You are one of the good ones, you know that. You and that merchant woman, she's got quite a gift for teaching that one. Now, time to see if limestone is the secret weapon we were hoping for. That'll do, I reckon. A knife forged from the very rocks of Dalamil. Her spirit, if you will.
It's a fine-looking blade.
I only hope Master Lubor agrees.
That sounds like my cue. And just as well. I was getting tired of waiting.
I'm sorry, Forge Master Lubor.
Let's take a look then, shall we? First things first, Sava, do you think this is a carving knife worthy of the fine people of Dalamil?
I'd like to think so. But what do you think?
What do I think indeed? It's sharp-ish, but it won't last long with hard use. And it's heavy, heavier than it should be. You might not think it just to hold it for a moment, but sell that to a cook and you'll never hear the end of it. It looks like someone paid a visit to the terraces. The limestone was a step in the right direction, granted, but one that still leaves you short of the mark.
And I was so certain I had it all worked out.
I don't know who you found to teach you that little trick, but it certainly shows initiative. Next question. How much do you think I would charge if I'd made this?
Well, if it took you even a fraction of the time it took me, I would say you could demand a heavy purse.
And who would be able to pay that? The butcher? The hunter? The cooks over at the inn? Dalamil is home to humble traders, not wealthy lords and ladies. Rule number 1 in any business, Sava. Know your customers.
Yes, Forge Master.
This is just about passable. But only just. I'd say you're worth keeping around a little longer. Starting tomorrow, you'll have an anvil of your own.
I will. Thank you. I was wondering, what would you do if you were asked to forge a carving knife?
I'd do what I always do. Ask who it's for. If it was for the butcher, I'd make sure it holds an edge. For the hunter, I'd make it as tough as Titan. For the cook, light as a feather. And for the nobleman, I'd make it cost an absolute fortune.
Ah, I read you.
There goes a master, all right.
It looks like congratulations are in order.
I couldn't have done it without you. So much for the Forge Master's riddle, though, eh? The spirit of Dalamil had nothing to do with limestone or anything much at all. Meaning, I had you run around for no good reason.
You've passed your test. That's all that matters. You'll have a forge of your own in no time.
And when I do, I'll craft you the finest carving knife you have ever seen.
So the thing was, he was supposed to ask who the knife was for and make the best knife in that category. By trying to satisfy the requests of all three kinds of knives, he couldn't make one that excelled in any of them. Which is why the knife was not quite good enough. But it was good enough for him to pass, so that's the important thing. And also, I looked it up. Apparently, limestone is used in smelting, so that's cool. But yeah. Now I go tell him the hot water's cooled off.
The finest fabric!
Take a sniff, good sir. Kneaded to a silken softness.
Made from the stoutest. There he is. The man who... I was hoping we'd be seeing you again. The baths grow more bearable by the moment. It won't be long now before we are back to business as usual.
I'm glad to hear it.
Now, tell me this. What did you find at the terraces? What threatened to make me a pauper?
Not what I expected, that's for certain.
It was what I expected.
You tell a fine story. That's not to say I don't believe you, though. Creatures made of flame, eh? That's something new to worry about. But I burdened you with my worries enough already. Here, a small something by way of thanks. Right. It's high time I got back to work. With a little luck, the day might yet be salvaged.
Well, hello there. Reduces ignition cooldown time by 2.2 seconds. I kind of prefer having the damage. Oh, there's my other Scarletite. I could pop off to my forge. Have that made. And I should probably do it now before I forget. A new missive in Clive's chambers, you say?
What do you need? What's that for you, dear?
There's my Drake Slayer's bracelets.
It last you a good while. That it?
Thank you, thank you.
And what can I do for you? If you're gonna buy something, be quick about it.
Nothing new here. I'll buy this pot,
Rubbing
though.
me blind, you know.
I'll read the thing in its chambers. Oh, that's a lot of letters. That from the yard ran up a basket of martels just this morning. Sweet as honey and crisp as the morning breeze they were. I told myself I was only going to have one. I reckon if no one else listens to old Otto, I don't have to either. Heh you let Neagle. And here's a lot of know they're doing a fine job. For the time you'd catch none but Sid supping on these. What for their foul bite. For him, never were about the flavor, but about what they represented. Really to make it on her own. But this now, Sid would be proud. Lord Marquise, I ask once again for you to forgive my men for your welcome back at Lazarus. But certainly you can understand that you were the last person any of us were expecting to see at our gates. In the short time since our reunion, you have shown yourself to be the selfsame man I followed into Stillwind those many years ago. The true bearer of your father's legacy. If only Sir Tyler, the Lord Commander, and all the others who were lost that night were still with us to see how bright your flame now burns. To you and your cause, I hereby pledge the sword of the Guardians, and am proud to stand alongside you once again. Wade. Dalamex and the Imperials are at a standoff. They snarl at each other, fangs bared like slunkers. Neither wants to make the first move. It's almost as if they both realize what a stinking pile of chocobo shit they've stepped in. If I were a man to lay a wager, I'd put my copper on this conflict not playing out anytime soon. I shall keep you praised, Gav. I apologize for what happened to Rosalith. I fear what might have been had not you, Gav, and Torgal fought so fiercely. Once again, you were there when I needed you most, and for that I shall forever be grateful. Seeing the sea I had once come to know as my home reduced to flame and rubble has left me with much sadness in my heart. But the time for looking back is beyond us. We must focus on the here and now. Our memories will be waiting for us when this is all through. Jill. Said the second, I trust you will forgive me for putting you and your dear uncle to the test. I am confident that a man of your position can understand the importance of earning one's trust, especially in times like this. For what it's worth, you now have earned mine, and I can assure you it shall not easily be relinquished. May this be the start of a fruitful relationship. Zena. And we pop back here. And end the episode. So, this episode we solved some riddles for a certain desert hare. Although I wonder how that false name and moniker came about. But next episode we'll be continuing on to Drake's Fang. But until then, remember to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. If you'd be so kind, get off my lawn, you filthy casuals.